the Dukes weren't hazardous. She's only 17, made us curious. It was a carefree time. How about we jump back and rewind? We were living on Winger and a prayer, just garbage pail kids with mullets and big hair. Let's open up another pack. Gen X wants their future back. Break out the denim jackets and faded band patches. Share memories, Polaroid captured. It's the Gen X marks, the spot portraits.
You know what? I never get tired of that theme song. Even my kids like it. That's saying something there. They don't like anything I like. Well, not true. I do talk about them a lot, liking hard rock, heavy metal, especially from the 80s. So I take that back. I don't know what I'm talking about. My wife would attest to that as well. So good, whatever time of day it is you are listening to the Gen X Marks the Spot podcast. I am your host, Joe Augustine, and we are in the Wherever I May Roam studio. I am absolutely pumped today. I have a fellow Pittsburgher on the show, and if you are from the Pittsburgh area and you go see local bands, then you know Ronnie Bachorski. He is with the band Journey Through the Ages. Ronnie has been performing in southwestern PA for almost 30 years in Journey cover bands. You may have heard of Escape. I know you have. You also heard of BonJourney. He was the front man in both of those. And now he got his own band, Journey Through the Ages. Whether you have seen Ronnie live or you've watched the videos on their social media, Ronnie has that uncanny vocal resemblance to Steve Perry. In today's episode, Ronnie is going to tell us about how this seasoned group of musicians, guys who have previously cut their teeth in some of the area's most notable bands, Ferris Bueller's Revenge, Buckwild, and as I mentioned, BonJourney and Escape, came together to form something really special. Forming in 2023, Journey Through the Ages has taken over the region. Not only are they nailing Journey songs, they're also covering Styx, REO Speedwagon, Foreigner, Queen, and so many more classic rock arena legends. And besides the hits that they're playing of those bands, they're also digging deep into that catalog and recreating even more of those hits that you may have forgot about from those bands. So right now, let's take a journey back in time. You thought I was going to say through the ages, didn't you? Nope. A journey back in time to when rock ruled the airwaves. Here's my interview with Ronnie Bachorski of Journey Through the Ages.
No, thanks for having me, man. Glad to be here.
You know, I'm glad I'm talking to another Pittsburgher. Or should I say Yinzer?
That's the proper term. Nobody else listening that's not from there will know what we're talking about, but we do.
You know, I don't know about you, but it seems whenever I go on a vacation, someone can always pick up my accent and tell me that I'm from Pittsburgh, and I don't get it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've had that happen to me too, man. I absolutely. One time I was in, if you can believe this, I was in Quebec, Canada, where it's mostly French speaking. And I had this lady, this French Canadian, come up and say something to me in French, and I had no idea what she was saying. The kid that was with me, I looked over, I said, "What did she just ask me?" He said, "She asked if you were from Pittsburgh." And I said, how does she know that? And he asked her, and she said, "Because of your accent." And she wasn't even speaking English to me. It blew my mind. So yeah, it goes far and wide. Somehow people know where we're from.
It's funny we're talking about this because just this week, Ricky Rocket, of course, you know, he's from the Berg area.
Yep.
He made a post on his Facebook page, and he was at Starbucks, and it said Riggy, R-I-G-I, and it said Rocket on it. And he made the post that, "Is my Pittsburgh accent that bad?"
Yeah, it's it's funny because we don't notice it, but yeah, everybody else does. I get people all the time that aren't from where we're at, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's so thick," and I'm like, "Really? I don't hear it." But we're just used
No.
to it, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of musicians from Pittsburgh, I already touched on it, and
Yes.
you
Yes.
are the front man for one of the most up and coming bands in the area, Journey Through the Ages.
Appreciate all the nice things you just said. I think I'm gonna owe you some money.
Well, you don't know how I actually wanted to start the podcast out, because I was watching some videos of you, and I was going to say, for those of you who don't know Ron, he's got the voice of Steve Perry, but not the moves of Jagger.
Oh, geez, yeah. So I guess a hybrid somewhere in there, right? Yeah.
but I think to have that compliment, you'll take that trade-off.
Oh, sure. Yeah, Steve Perry was known for his voice, but not necessarily, having the swagger of a Jagger. So yeah, I'll take it, man. Whatever you want to throw at me, yeah, I'm good with it.
Well, let's talk about you and Journey Through the Ages, because I know
Sure.
most of the songs that you're doing is Journey geared towards, but you also do other bands as well, like REO Speedwagon, Styx. I could go on.
Mm-hmm. The Journey thing, I've had a couple different versions of Journey type tribute bands before, and yeah, so I did that, off and on for a couple years, going back as far as, oh wow, I think the first Journey tribute band I was in was called Escape. That was, that was 22, 23 years ago maybe. Did another sort of hybrid after that, and then for a while did some arena rock stuff, but it was like a little bit more mixed. We were more of like a cover band, that band, and then I just basically stopped doing it for about 10 years. I had some health issues, had some family problems for a while, and I kind of just checked out on it in my early 30s and was like, okay, I think I'm done. I had a good run, I'm done. And then after by the time I got 40, I got stuff together, got in really good shape, and then I was like, okay, you know what? I wonder if I can do this again. Started dipping my toe back into the water occasionally, and it just didn't. Some things didn't have the right feel, and then I'm like, okay, if I can't find the right perfect guys, the right perfect band to do this, I'm not going to do it. And I just hit it out of the park with the guys that I found, man. Right out the gate, everybody I found, and we're just incredible, and we all looked at each other and went, oh man, we got something here. And it was really kind of crazy how it all fell together. My bass player Rick Serra, him and I, it's ironic because I didn't remember this. About 25 years ago he had a band, and I went and actually auditioned for the band that he was in, and I didn't make it. And I never saw him, never heard from him again. And about, I don't know, almost 4 years ago, one of the hybrid bands that I had for a while that I founded like 20 years ago was called BonJourney. I've been out of that band for years, but they asked me to fill in for a gig for them over the summer a few years back, and Rick was filling in for them that night as well. And Rick, just basically was like, hey, I remember when we did this 25 years ago? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, well, I got an idea for a Journey project eventually. I'll hit you up. So fast forward about 6 months later, hey, you still interested? He was. My guitar player, we were just friends on Facebook, George. We were just friends on Facebook, and he made a comment about a video he saw me doing faithfully. I think it was like a karaoke video or something that I posted. And I heard him do a video of him playing the solo for Who's Crying Now. And I'm like, oh my God, this is my guy. And what I didn't know at the time, that he's like such a seasoned player. He's from Chicago originally. He shared the stage with like Glenn Frey, Martina McBride. Like, he's done some really big things.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the keyboard player, Will, was in a band with Rick called Ferris Bueller's Revenge a long time ago.
No way.
And he recommended Will, and I'm like, okay, so let's get Will on board. And then I put out a Facebook ad for a drummer, because I kind of had the core of like the idea of the band at the time. And I put a Facebook ad out for a drummer, and Jeff responded. So I got lucky, so lucky right out the gate, because like the first time got guys together to audition or to play together, I instantly was like, this is the band. I didn't have to audition anybody else. I didn't have to look elsewhere and like, oh, this guy's cool, but maybe I'll check out these guys. Like, it was like, nope, this is it. Like, this is the band. So like and quite honestly, like, it was a blessing for me, because, you know, I was still dipping my toe back in the water with all of it. And if I would have probably had to go through that audition process and all that rigmarole, I probably would have just said, you know what, screw it, I'm not going to do this. And but yeah, we instantly, like, from the first time we got together, looked at each other and went, whoa, like, wow, like, we all just had like a chemistry right out the gate. And yeah, man, it just built upon that and grew upon that. And like, I'm just so thankful for everybody in this band. And we're all like brothers too, like, you know what I mean? That's the cool thing. Like, we're all about putting out the best product that we can and being the best players that we can. But like, I love all these guys. Like, they're just amazing people, and they're just so great to work with. So yeah, I hit the lotto with Journey tributes, man.
That rarely happens with anything.
I know, right? That's such a rarity, you know. So yeah, we do half Journey. We play the greatest hits. You gotta, you know. And
Yeah.
But you know, my original idea for this band was I want to incorporate some stuff from all the other bands from that sort of quote unquote corporate rock. So, you know, REO Speedwagon, Styx, and you know, there were certain songs that I was skeptical. I'm like, I don't know if we can pull this off. Like, an example would be like Come Sail Away by Styx. Now, like, if you've ever seen Styx do that, they have a couple different people playing keyboards on that because everything going on. Now, Will, my keyboard player, he's so amazing. He pulls that all off as one guy. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's like the first time we ever heard him do it, we're like, oh, holy hell! Like, we're like, we can actually do this song, you know. But I think that's what sets us apart from all the other Journey tributes out there, is that we have something more to offer. And when people hear us interject these songs that they know and love from the other bands from that genre, they go nuts. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's just a good time all the way around, man. And it's just been so much fun. And
Just looking at your dates that are coming up, I mean, you're well booked into the fall already.
yeah, we got stuff all the way up until December already. It definitely filled up really quick. And you know, it was really funny when I first started the band. I was, you know, with the whole dipping the toe in the water thing, I remember saying to the guys, okay guys, I'm only looking to do this like once a month, maybe twice a month at the most. And we're just, you know, we're getting such great shows, and we're selling out a lot of places, like the theater shows that we're doing. Like they some of them at times are sold out months in advance. It's like, okay, yeah, all right. If people are digging it this much, let's keep going. So let's book more. So it's, you know, we're having such a great time with it. It's, you know, it's like, why not strike while the iron's hot? If people want to hear it and people are still coming out the way they are, we're going to be here doing it.
I'm going to try, fingers crossed. You know, I'm not the boss of my household. In my head, I'm the boss of my household.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
But I'm going to try to pull my wife out of the slumber of wintertime and get her down to the craft house on the 29th of February.
21st.
Is it the 21st? Oh, my God.
It is. Yes. There is no 29th of February.
Well, it's been a long, excruciating day for me at my full-time job. So
I hear you, buddy. Sometimes I can't keep the date straight in my own head either.
so it is the 21st.
Yes. We might have like a slower month than others once in a while. Like, I think February 21st is our only show in February, and we had a couple in January. Then like other months are like real heavy. Like, you know, we have like a heavy March. So yeah, it all varies. And then there's a couple places that we're doing like the Penn Theater in Bueller. We're doing back-to-back nights there because the demand for the tickets was so high. We sold out there super fast last time, so they just wanted us to do Friday and Saturday. So yeah, it all varies and depends. But we leave enough room. We like to try to leave enough room for life, you know, for everybody to go do things that they want to do with family and whatnot, and just, you know, go on vacations. And a couple of my guys are in other bands too. But they're, you know, it's worked to a point where we have played shows in areas where, you know, I'm like, oh, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if people are going to know us, outside of Pittsburgh. Like, we've branched outside of Pittsburgh quite a bit. Like, we have shows coming up all the way out near Hershey, and we got other theaters like literally all across the country looking into us now. And so, like, but I've been concerned a few times, like, oh, I wonder, it's a little far out of our territory. I don't know how. And no, we'd show up and it would be packed because they're just Journey fans, or they, some people like, oh my God, I heard you guys do really good at the REO or the Styx. And it's, so there's a little bit of something for everybody in there. So it just works.
And I'm glad there are bands out there such as yours that's keeping the spirit of rock alive, because as you can see, just with the Twisted Sister reunion getting canceled here.
I know, man, that bummed me out so bad.
Well, let's have a little discussion, and maybe
Sure.
The information will come out. I found it a little strange that it said Dee Schneider resigned from Twisted Sister.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too. Like, I always thought that he actually ran the show when it came to that band, but I guess it was JJ French or somebody else, because they were
yes.
They were kind of the ones that put that first statement out, and then he did a rebuttal that I saw earlier. But that sucks, man, because I love Dee as a front man. I've met him a couple times. He's the coolest dude ever. Like, I always, like, I was never like a huge Twisted Sister guy. I appreciate them and love a couple of their songs, but like, he is a front man, was killer.
Oh, absolutely. I saw him last year with Bret Michaels, and he put on a fabulous performance for 4 or 5 songs. And, and for me, that was like, oh my God, it's freaking Dee Schneider,
Yeah. Well, what I was reading today, something else just came out about it, where they said he has some sort of degenerative arthritis condition, and performing a full show, like, that's why I guess he was cool doing that like couple song thing that he did with Brett last summer. But apparently the rigors of a full show are going to be too much on him, and that's by his own admission.
Right. I don't know, it was just a little odd. Like, why not just put a statement out due to health concerns within the band? The 50th anniversary tour is not going to come to fruition. But, like, to me, I took it as if, you know what? He's done. He's not even affiliated with Twisted Sister anymore.
Yeah. Do you think maybe that's them trying to keep the door open or something, to maybe like get another guy in there to do it or something?
There is no other guy. There cannot be another guy.
I agree. With Twisted Sister, you can't have anybody but Dee up there. I mean, who would you put there? You know what I mean? Like, you can't even find a no-name ringer to go in there and just like do the songs. Like, I can't even see them getting booked without him. So I don't know. It's weird how band business works like that sometimes. Sometimes it's a revolving door, and then there's just other people that just are just too iconic. You just can't replace.
Such as Steve Perry.
Yeah, I mean, they've managed to do it. I mean, they really have. It took them a few singers to really kind of key in on Arnell, but you still get the outliers. They're like, oh, it'll never be Steve Perry, and it's like, well, no shit. Of course, it's not going to be Steve Perry.
No.
It's funny because, like, I do a respectable job at it, I feel. But oh my God, I could never hold a candle to that man. His whole body was a lung. You know what I mean? Like, his entire body was a lung.
Yeah.
And he was an alien when he was at the top of his game. And I'll occasionally, we get like mostly just very positive stuff from the people that see us on Facebook, or like reviews and stuff. But every once in a while, you'll get somebody that'll be like, well, it wasn't Steve Perry, but they did pretty good. And it's like, dude, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good with that. You know what I mean? Hey,
yeah.
I'm 45 trying to do what he did when he was 25. And if I can, like, just even be like 60-70% of anything he was, or even close to that, I'm a happy guy. I'm having fun. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And from what I was seeing and hearing, and you nail Journey, definitely nail that band.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And it's the band behind me, my guys. Without them, I'd be nothing, because they pull out all the other aspects of it around me that are needed to make the whole thing work. You know what I mean? Like if you come see us live, you hear George's guitar solo on Who's Crying Now, and your jaw is going to be on the ground. Like, oh my God, like that's the best solo I've ever heard. Like that's like right up there with anything Neil Sean would do. You know, it's just yeah, I really appreciate that, man. You know, we do the best we can to put on the best show that we can, and we try to be as close to record quality as we can be. You know, here's, you know, not to scratch my own back on this or scratch the band's own back on this, but we do it all live too. We don't do any backing tracks. We don't do any of the filler stuff. Like, it's all us up there. So, you know, there's a lot of bands, even cover bands and tribute bands that I know that are doing that stuff now, and I'm just not about it. I like, you know, I want it to be authentic. I want to hear those imperfections. That's what rock and roll is supposed to be.
I'm just going to keep my mouth shut on some of the major acts, but you can tell when they're live and when they're not live.
Oh, without question, I can pick it out almost instantly. You know what I mean? There's some bands that are so good, like still vocally, like it usually comes down to the vocals for the most part. But
yeah.
There's some bands that can like that you got to question and go, oh, and then there's other ones immediately you're like, oh yeah, that's backing tracks. Come on now, you know what I mean? And you know, one of the things Dee said in his interview today, if you get a chance to read that, I don't know if you read that part, but he said that he doesn't want to be a shadow of his former self, and he would rather not do it anymore. You know what I mean? And I think there's something to be said for that. Like at some point, like if you like, for me, just speaking for myself personally, like when I can't do it or can't do it good, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to go up there and lip sync, you know. But hey, to each their own. Some people, you know, got to do what they got to do to make a living, and it's all good, you know. But I just pride ourselves on the fact that, yeah, we may have our imperfections. I may not be pitch perfect every night. Something might get flubbered, but it's all real, and we work hard at it. So that's, you know, the best we can do.
No one could ask for anything more, honestly.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm one of those people that, like, if you put a lot of people in front of me, and the more people, the merrier, I'm less nervous. If I play it's never happened in this band, luckily, but the only time I've ever been nervous on stage is when I don't have a crowd. And it's when I play to less people that I get, ooh, okay, I'm watching this set of 50 eyes on me. This is kind of weird. You know, you put a few hundred or 1,000 or more people in front of me, like I don't feel that fear. It's like there's something about it. So that first gig that we played, like the very first place we played was a place called Club 80s over in Trafford. It's no longer there now. But our very first show, there was like 350 people there, something like that. Yeah, so the place was packed to the walls right out the gate, and I felt confident enough even at that point that we did everything justice. You know what I mean? And so no, for myself, it was a high, man. It wasn't a nerves thing at all. It was just, I literally, like, right out the gate, I hear that first, you know, yeah, you know, from the crowd or whatever when we're about to go on, or, you know, they hear the first note or they hear our intro or whatever. As soon as I hear that, it just jazzes me up. So no, like I said, we've been very lucky out the gate. So that first gig was not really a nerve tester for me. It was, for me, it was just like, oh wow, okay, I see where this is going.
And I can see where you're coming from, because I've never been a musician, loved music my whole life, never could play an instrument, never could sing, but I'll relate it to sports. I was always an athlete, and, you know, the more the crowd cheered, whether it was for me or for my team, you know, I just got adrenalized off of that. And I'm sure that's how it was for you.
Oh, without a doubt. Yes. And no, that's a very good comparison, actually, because I used to be an athlete when I was a kid too, and it was the same thing. You hit that home run out of the park, and the crowd, you know, they're cheering for you, and the team's cheering for you, and, you know, that whole thing. Like, so yeah, there's a very similar type of vibe there for sure. You know, it's the vibe of the crowd that, like, really gets the adrenaline going. When you see the looks on people's faces of happiness that you're bringing back these memories for them, and they're hearing the songs like they remember. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why we try to be very authentic as much as possible. You know, even with my singing style, like yeah, I can turn it on for the Journey and like try to, you know, recreate his sound and his tone as much as possible. But like I try to do that with the other stuff we do. If I'm singing Dennis DeYoung on Come Sail Away, I'm trying to sing like him. You know what I mean? Like or like as close to it as I can possibly get. You know what I mean? But when you see the crowd reaction and them having a good time and they're dancing or they're pumping their fists or they're yelling and screaming, whatever they're doing, that's the trade-off, man. That's why we do it. You know what I mean? Like it's like just such a good feeling. It's so fun. You know what I mean? I'm having more fun now doing music than I ever have in my entire life, for sure.
That's great, man, because like I said earlier, we need bands, we need singers out there like you. Do not let rock die.
Yeah, because it's a shame because, you know, in the mainstream, you know, it unfortunately there's not a lot of great stuff out there, and there's things that call themselves rock but they're not rock, you know, just like there's things that call themselves country that I don't feel is country. You know what I mean? But yeah. You know what I mean? But like, it's to each their own, but it's what, you know, it's all about what people like, you know. But, you know, one of the things that is really cool about us, you know, because like I'm almost 45, and there's a lot of people who are like, oh, Journey was like kind of before your time. It's like, yeah, but I grew up on them. Like my first concert ever, my dad took me to see Journey on a Raised on Radio tour in '87 when I was 6 years old, and I still remember all of it. Yeah, I remember all of it, and I remember looking around at the crowd during Faithfully and like all the lighters in the air. I'm like, wow, there's some magic here, you know. But beyond me, there's our age range at the shows is incredible. I mean, especially like some of these theater shows, like there's teenagers that are coming.
Yes.
Their parents are bringing them because their favorite songs, Don't Stop Believing, or they just love like, it's like there's nothing good out now, or the pickings are slim, so they're going back and they're like going to mom and dad going, hey, what are you into? And so yeah, we see kids from teenage years and people. We had a woman at our show that was celebrating her 90th birthday. It was a huge Journey fan. Yeah, and she told me her kids were, you know, her kids got her into them, and it's mind-boggling. So that's, you know, for the genre that we do, the Journey and the other stuff, like there seems to be a very big demographic for it. So it's really worked to our favor as far as attendance goes with a lot of places. So you're right. It is keeping rock alive. Like this music is timeless, you know. And I think that a lot of people are going back and rediscovering it. And I think that there's people too that maybe, you know, for some years got away from it, and it, you know, they're hearing about it being, you know, a band like us that tries hard to do it as authentically as they remember. So it, you know, there's like an appeal to it, I guess.
Oh, hands down, 100%. I know my boys, they love the genre. And now, don't get me wrong, they kind of, I don't want to say shied away from it. They've explored other genres of music, but their go-to all the time is hard rock or hair metal or the classics. My oldest son, his very first concert at age 5 was Kiss and Motley Crue.
Oh wow! I was at that tour. Yeah, what a great first show for him to go to.
oh my! He still talks about it. And then he fell in love with Alice Cooper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How old's your boy?
He's 19, and he is looking forward to going to see Alice Cooper. And we're praying that he's coming to the Berg this summer, because the closest as of now that he's going to be to Pittsburgh is Cleveland. Yeah, farewell tour from what I hear.
Really? Well, you know, that might just be one of 10, but you know, here's the thing though. I always make fun of that, but we're at a point now where our heroes they're older, and even if they're full of crap and they're doing that as a marketing ploy to get you to come to the shows, it very well could be, even if they don't know it. You know, So it's kind of like, okay, take it seriously now, because, you know, these guys are senior citizens now, and they may not be able to do it or may not be around to do it very often. So I take that a little bit more seriously than I used to, you know.
Oh, yeah, same here. You may or may not know this, but you do know that Alice Cooper has roots in Fayette County, where I'm from.
Really?
Yes. Okay, I don't know if you...
I did not know that.
I don't know if you ever heard of a little town called Smock, PA, and actually you probably did, because we were talking about it today over where Alan's Haunted Hayride is.
Yep, I am familiar with that, yes.
So his grandparents lived in Smock, PA, don't know the years, but they were ministers, and they had a church that they preached out of in the Uniontown area. And
wow.
Yeah, so Alice would actually go during the summer months and visit and stay with them. And I believe for 1 or 2 years, he actually went to school in the Uniontown district when he was in elementary school.
Oh, wow. Wow. You know, I do remember hearing that he was the son of a minister, or maybe his grandparents were, but I never knew that it was around here. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I believe his dad was as well. And here's the crazy part. I read his autobiography, and I didn't even know this. So being from Fayette County, our county was named after Marcus D. Lafayette, hence Fayette County. I'm going to get the generation number wrong, but in Alice Cooper's autobiography, he said that, and I'm just going to say his great uncle was Marcus D. Lafayette.
No kidding.
No kidding. So he has so many roots and family that is in the Fayette County area. So his real last name is Fournier, and there are tons of family of his in that area. And he was at Stage AE once, and he actually gave a shout out to Uniontown, PA. I was like, oh my God, he's talking about where I live.
Talking about your hometown, yeah.
Yeah, like, dude, sweet, and yeah, it was awesome. But speaking of hometowns, okay, let's talk about the hometown Pittsburgh fans when you're out there performing. What are they like? What's the energy like?
Boy, they've really been requesting Renegade a lot lately, so we do have that. That is the next song we got to learn, because we've been getting hounded to death about that song. No, the Pittsburgh fans are great. I mean, they've been great everywhere, though. Like, there's definitely a vibe in the Pittsburgh area now for the tribute band things is like, not just us, but everybody that does, sort of a theme band or a tribute band. It's like a hot commodity right now. What I hear from people a lot is, okay, I can spend $300-400 a seat to go see a band that's essentially a tribute now.
Yeah.
I just had somebody recently who said that they went and saw Def Leppard and Journey at PNC Park last year, 2 years ago, whenever they were here, and they were like singing our praises, like, man, I had a better time tonight. I thought you guys sounded so good. Like I had a better time tonight than I did that night, and I only paid $30 to get in. So
yeah.
We see a lot of our most eclectic crowds with the age numbers, because I think people are just passed that down from generations, like it was passed down to mine.
Mm-hmm.
And no, it's there's a lot of cool stuff going on in Pittsburgh right now with bands like us. There's a lot of bands that are really thriving. There's like I love seeing posts about other bands that play some of the places we play, like Jurgles and stuff, and they're just packing the house because people are coming out to relive their memories through the music. So I think people are going back rather than sort of grasping for fruit in the current. So it's just been really good stuff, man. Everybody's been great. We're just so thankful that everyone's coming to see us in droves, and it just keeps getting bigger and better.
Before we wrap it up, okay, just a couple questions I want to throw out at you. Other than Journey, Styx, or REO, because those are the three we talked about.
Yeah.
If you could open up for any band, who would it be?
Oh, that's a good one. I actually did open in one of my previous bands one time for Styx, Kansas, and Foreigner.
Wow.
Starlake.
Nice.
Yeah, we did that a couple years ago. Or not a couple years, God, 20 years ago, sorry. Oh my. Whew. That's a tough one. You know what? The bands I would love to open for don't really perform anymore. I would have to say, I'd be like, and it would be like a total pipe dream, like Kiss and Van Halen, Led Zeppelin, the Eagles, because those are like kind of my top tier bands. Like everybody always thinks I'm like Journey's my favorite band. They're actually not. They're in top 10 for sure. But yeah, that my biggest influences have always been kind of like more in the metal vein, kind of like what you talk about, like Kiss, Van Halen. Queen is probably my all-time favorite band. Freddie Mercury was my biggest influence of all time.
Well, we'll go with Queen and Freddie Mercury, and I'll tell you why. Because Freddie Mercury was once asked, what does it feel like to be the best singer on the planet? And you know what his response was?
So wasn't it something like, I don't know, you have to ask them or something?
You're close. You're close. His response was, I don't know. Why don't you go ask Steve Perry?
Did he really say that?
He really said that.
That's funny. You know what? Now that you're mentioning that, I do remember reading that he said that because I know that he was a big Steve Perry fan. Him and Brian May both were like, they loved his voice. Yeah. Oh, Steve was one in a million. I mean, he definitely was, especially when in his heyday. I mean, he was untouchable. If you watch some of that, like the Escape concert from 1981 in Houston, I mean, look at Mother Father. If you get a chance, go YouTube Mother Father from that tour. Mm-hmm. There's a note he hits at the end of that song that my entire life I thought was a keyboard part. I thought it was like a weird wizardry keyboard thing Jonathan Cain was playing. And when I watched that video when that came out on YouTube a few years back, because that was the first time I ever saw that full video, they pan over to Perry and that's him hitting that note. And I'm like, I didn't know a human being was capable of making that sound. It's an honor for us to be able to try to step into the proverbial shoes, I guess you would say, just to even be able to play the music and to do it well enough that people enjoy it. So we're happy, man. We're grateful, and we're just going to keep trucking on. It just keeps getting better.
Sounds like it. Absolutely. And now another question, and then we'll wrap it up. Mm-hmm. Have you ever thought about doing any originals?
We're talking about that, actually. George and I have always been more of a lyrical writer, but I don't consider myself a musician at all. I'm the guy that kind of screams in key as best as he can up there. Well, I have talented guys behind me, but I've never really had, like, I couldn't tell you what a B is as an A. Like when I'm singing, I couldn't tell you what note I was singing. I have no idea, but I do write lyrics. And my guitar player, George, is just, he's just a brilliant musician all the way around. And he writes great melodies and stuff. So we've been talking about getting together, and we're going to actually try to do some originals kind of in the vein of Journey. So like basically come up with a couple of our own original Journey songs, if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. That's kind of unique and original in itself.
Yeah, like we want it to be something that our fan base will enjoy, but something that nobody's ever heard, And another thing we're talking about doing too is I have this idea in my head of going into the studio and doing a collection of singles and maybe eventually like a full album of it, but something called You Should Have Been Hits, like a play on You Should Have Been Gone by Steve Perry.
Oh.
And kind of re-recording a few of the Journey tunes that were more album cuts that, in our opinion, is our favorite stuff, and we feel should have been much bigger than they were. Like certain songs, like After the Fall, stuff off the Trial by Fire record that went mostly unnoticed, other than When You Love a Woman, and so we've been talking about doing all that and then incorporating some of the originals. So yeah, you're definitely going to see something like that from us in the horizon. So we're kind of excited about that.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what comes of that. You mentioned you were working on Renegade. How about this? For the upcoming Pittsburgh Steelers season, opening day at, and I'm going to call it Heinz Field because I don't care. It's always Heinz Field. Since Mike McCarthy, a hometown boy, is the Steelers head coach, his journey through the ages has brought him here. And you, as a band, Journey Through the Ages, could sing Renegade opening day. You need to do it.
Oh my God, set me up. You know people, call them up. We'll be there.
Hey, I'm only planting the seed, okay?
Well, let's get this interview in the right ear so that somebody else thinks that's a good idea. And I'm all about it. Hey man, we always appreciate a recommender or a hookup. So yeah, we'd be all about that. The guys in my band are all huge sports guys and big Steeler fans. So oh my God, they'd be over the moon. We'd be there in a heartbeat.
Think about the marketing. You're a Pittsburgh band. He's a Pittsburgh guy. We got the Steelers, man. And can you imagine all your followers too? Well, let's try to do that.
Okay, dude, I'm all about it. Absolutely. I appreciate that. Yeah, man. Give him a call and give him my number and let's get it going. I'll be there with bells on for sure.
Sweet. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to chat with me on the Gen X Marks the Spot podcast. I am going to do my damnedest to get down there on the 21st at the Craft House to see Journey Through the Ages.
Yes, man. We would love to have you there. Yeah. Anybody listening, JTTA.band is where we're going to be, or everywhere we're going to be is on there. And we hope to see everybody at the show soon.
All right, man. You take care of yourself.
You too. I appreciate that.
So how cool would that be if myself or Ronnie or anyone out there listening could get that set up with the Pittsburgh Steelers for Journey Through the Ages to perform opening day 2027 season of the Steelers, and coordinating that with Mike McCarthy's Journey Through the Ages to become the new head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. All hometown boys. Man, let's do it. Let's set that up. Let's make some calls. I think we're going to do it. Ronnie, I cannot thank you enough for being my guest on the Gen X Marks the Spot podcast. And I want you to know, I may just have to put my foot down and say to my wife, we are going to the Craft House February 21st to check out Journey Through the Ages. It does not matter what she says. Okay, it does, but she doesn't listen to my show, so I can say that with confidence. Yeah, I can. Again, Ronnie, thank you so much. I'm going to wish you a great upcoming, do I want to say season? It's not a sport. How about a great year performing? There we go. That works. All right, everyone. Don't forget to check out Journey Through the Ages on all their social media platforms. And you can check us out at Gen X Marks the Spot podcast on all social media platforms and wherever you get your streaming, we are there. And that wraps up another episode of Gen X Marks the Spot podcast. Until next week, peace out. Props everyone for listening. I am Joe Augustine.